And we are back. And we've just finished up our wee little downtime there. Just got all scooched up and done. A lot of investment in relationships. Which I think, like that thing where every game eventually drifts into another game. If you play for long enough, we totally got that thing of like eventually if we played this long enough it would turn into a dating sim.
Yeah, this is to Blades in the Dark as Mirror Shades was to Shadowrun.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I would like to spend a rep to take another downtime action.
Sure. What downtime action is that?
Yeah, I want to spend more time hanging out with my ghost buddy.
Sure. Yeah. Tondon?
It's really important to me that I become close friends with this horrific ghost.
Okay, you can do that.
I'm very invested in it. Also,
yes.
That clock for your mother is at 7 of 8.
Yep.
Like we could, if you want to spend another rep, we could like fill that and do that as today's job.
I was wondering if
like we could do that.
Interesting. I thought my feelings in today's job. I thought it would be actually a fun time to do the move an important ghost. Now that there's a bunch of ghosts
yeah.
Like I think
there's heaps of other ghosts around.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's so good.
So I want to kind of save it. We can save it for the next.
That's a better idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm cool to leave that where it is for now, and then
I can make friends with this important ghost too.
Mm-hmm. Belle and Belle's menagerie of ghosts.
That's right. That's the goal. That's all I want out of this game.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. And what is the second? I think what this second ghost befriending looks like is Belle goes back to the same building again. And I think this was like an old library. There was a library. It was like an old manor. Yeah, like a library in there somewhere. But I think this time Belle is like in real world space. Mm-hmm. And just like reaches into like their pocket and pulls out like a couple of vials of electroplasm, and just like opens them and just like empties them on the floor like a beacon to give Tondon something to eat, and also like some means of like becoming manifest. And then Belle just like sits down and waits, and like eventually Tondon shows up, and they like literally they just like have a conversation. Like
and then, like
Belle's like, "How's the weather in the weird spooky ghost version of Dusk of Old today?"
Yeah, and Tondon opens their mouth, and out come unspeakable echoes.
Yep. And I nod. I'm like, "Oh, I see."
As your mind is flooded with images and words that would destroy a normal mind.
Yes, I understand. It's interesting. Have you noticed lots of new ghosts running around at the moment?
You are flooded with the purest and most unfiltered concept of kids these days.
And Belle nods. Because, like, I think it's important for us to remember that as gleeful as I, Luke the player, may be about us blowing up a bridge, Belle had nothing at all to do with it.
Yeah, exactly, yep.
And so I think Belle just nods and is like, I know. They're really over the top, I think. But, I mean, if you wanted to get out, go for a bit of a walk, stretch your legs. Maybe have a snack.
Yeah,
there will rarely be better time.
Yeah, and there's we see like this conversation like play out as like it's like idle chatter with a 1,000-year-old amalgam entity of like horrible people.
Yeah, Belle pays a social visit.
Yep, cool. What does that? What does that go?
I think it's consort.
Mm-hmm.
Still, is Tondon helping?
Yeah, they are in this one.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna take +1 die for that. In that case, boom.
Cool.
So close to a crit.
So close, and yet so far.
And yes, so far. I'll take it. Next downtime. Next downtime we'll do this.
Next time.
Yeah. Alright, I'm happy. I'm good. Then yeah, I'm totally on board for plan. Go see the Demo Sisters again.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
They're
go see
cool,
them.
cool old ladies.
Cool. Alright, so where am I? Cool. So let's so yeah, you go and see the Dimmer Sisters, and like you catch up with whatever her name is that you always kind of like the youngest of the like weird old ladies.
Rosalind?
Rosalind. Rosalind is like we've grown quite fond of you and your little band. She says to Bells. We were trying to get in touch with you, but you were hard to get a hold of recently. I hope you're feeling better. We assumed you were dead for a bit.
And Belle just kind of like makes a bit of a face, like it's not inaccurate. Like,
yeah, and she sips from tea and pours tea for everyone else, and there are like small things wriggling around in amongst the tea leaves, and yeah, she's like, we were hoping that you might be able to hand us with one of our more delicate operations. It's recently we've had to stop using one of our couriers, and we were hoping that they seem to have encountered a little bit of misfortune, and we were hoping that you might be able to take their place. What with your special knack and all.
And what is it that needs moving?
Yeah, she says a friend
Or who?
she says a friend of ours, Zamira, has recently completed her mortal life, and we've kept her we've kept her situation quite stable. And we're hoping that we can find her a more permanent residence. And so she says, where am I? Sorry, let me just check a thing. Are you familiar with Madame Sethler's? It's an establishment in Silkshore that I am told provides some exceptional entertainment.
It rings bell. This new residence.
Very funny.
This new residence is engineered or homegrown.
She's like, we're told that it's been supplied by she says it was supplied by one of our suppliers who is associated with the operation that we were referring to that is shut down, unfortunately. And so and it's in residence. The residence is in residence, as you might say. All set up for the recovery period, adjustments and such. In an appropriate location. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Centuralia Club.
Yes, we have heard of this place. How is it related to the establishment at Silkshore?
I need to go get ice cream, everyone. I'll be back in 5.
That's all right. You can be back in you can take a moment. She's like, that is where the residence. That is where the resident body is. That you'll be transporting to. Unfortunately, it's quite delicate and can't be transported to our lovely friend in Silkshore. So someone will have to move her across the city.
And who would be our contact at both ends of the deal?
Yeah, she's like, in Silkshaw, Madame Settler herself will happily speak to you, and has been most helpful in taking care of our good friend. In at the club, where am I? It is.
Corin shoots a very meaningful glance at Adi, and
Does Adi know that it's this Centuralia club?
yeah, I would have definitely told it that that's
Okay.
where the trail led.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
they share a glance.
At the Centuralia Club, you'll have to speak to Lady Mora, who can be a little what's the word she uses? Who can be a little cold sometimes, but a lovely person all the less.
Lady Mora.
What can you tell us about Lady Mora other than her temperature?
Give me a second, I'll see what I can find for you.
Corin is perhaps a little bit more literal. He's kind of like
yeah. Yeah, she says, I'm told he is of the noblest birth, and has quite fine manners. She's of the noblest birth and has quite fine manners. You certainly won't find her off-putting.
I'm sure we won't.
The Mora family is one of the oldest families in Dustport.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the name of the family? The
Mora. Mora.
Mora.
For Luke's benefit.
Sorry, what? No, I think Belle has been like Belle's been doing the Belle thing and just like suddenly choosing and is like, sorry, what?
She says, you won't find. She says, I don't expect Lady Mora will offend you.
Okay.
Very little offends Belle.
Sure,
this is true. Open-mindedness is virtue of my homeland.
And she says, mercy is certainly a virtue.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my friend.
You got mercy on the brain.
I'm very keen to find out. All right, I sit down with the Dimmer sisters and I ask.
Rosalind is the one that you're speaking to. Yeah,
Rosalind, that's right. I asked Rosalind. I'm very curious to hear a little bit more about how your friend here ceased to enjoy this mortal life, and under what circumstances is she in her present state?
Yeah, and she says, she was 104.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think Belle just like claps Corin on the shoulder and is like, in the usual way, Corin.
Excellent. You don't see many of those nowadays.
She's like, certainly not with all of these terrorists running around.
They can be troublesome. I agree. Meaningful glances at him.
Yeah, and she definitely says we've got a lot more to deal with. What with all those poor people who fell into the river.
Belle is just like staring blankly around. I don't know that y'all even mentioned to Belle that this had happened.
We never speak of it.
And I don't know that they are like tuned in enough or honestly give enough of a shit to have noticed. Like Belle is just like, wait, yes, someone blew up the bridge.
It's fine.
Yeah, that person probably shouldn't have done that.
I think Adi is more concerned about the state of the ghosts that they're transporting. So she's like, how stable is it? Is there any risk that?
I think that's what I was getting at too. You know,
yeah, she will break
violent death. Maybe she might be more.
Right.
Yeah, and she's definitely like they definitely say like, well, she's been safely contained so far, and doesn't and has obviously had a few little tantrums, but that is to be expected. She'll calm down a lot better when once she's got somewhere to settle down, which is why it would be better to do the job sooner rather than later. I'm so glad we were able to find to get a hold of you. It's been nearly a fortnight.
Yes, we've been
Very
busy.
trying thing she has been through.
Well, we better do it sooner rather than later.
Dying, yes.
I agree. Can you send word that we are on our way now?
She's like, she's like, yes, of course. And she like, and yeah, she calls out, Thomason, and yeah, like a 9-year-old girl appears just out of like from a corner of the room that doesn't have any doors.
Belle offers her a biscuit.
And like the little girl like looks at the biscuit and then looks at Rosalind, and Rosalind is like, and the little girl is like a message, and yeah, she says, please go and tell Miss Cethel that our friends here are on the way to collect our friend. It's like, okay, and just like goes out the door, and you just hear the sound of like bare feet on like wet pavement as she runs as fast as she can.
Okay, so just to catch me, Luke, the player up.
Yes.
Is the ghost here and we are bringing it to the Centralia Club? Or is the ghost at the Centralia Club and we are bringing it back here?
At the club.
The ghost is at
the ghost is at Settler's in Silk Shore.
Gotcha.
To the
And we're
club.
taking it to the club.
Yeah.
Easy.
And we have to take it to the club, which is the location of the lead that Adi's mother is.
Yes, I remember that part.
Hold on.
That's actually pretty good. That's like a fairly straight run, right?
That is a straight run. I was wondering. It's one of the. I'm not quite sure exactly where the building was that was pinged in Silkshore, but we'll put that on later.
Show us again, Ash.
It's over in like in
The
this
top
little.
left somewhere.
It's over here in this section.
Okay, cool.
This bit?
This bit.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a little bit of getting out of Silkshore.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically get out of Silkshore, run into Crowsfoot until we hit the Watchtower, and then just take the long road up through Charter Hall into Six Towers and essentially. Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, pretty straight after that.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. The main concern is like there are a lot of ghosts and a lot of spirit wardens out at the moment. So.
And what about something like taking ghosts across water? Is that any more difficult or less difficult, or
not specifically?
Not specifically. I seem to remember ghosts couldn't travel across water or something like that. Okay.
That's one of those superstitions that Karen grew up with.
Yeah. Belle just like shakes their head and like sighs. So, what kind of plan do we want to do?
This sounds like a transport job, really.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say it because I'm obliged to,
Yes.
even though
Right.
the will say no. We could do it as an occult job, and the occult means is the weird ghost version of the city.
That is a thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Could do it that way. That's true.
But somehow I suspect.
We should do a fortune roll for it, I think. I'm going to roll my fortune roll. Odds we do it occult.
I mean, actually, honestly, like that's still probably a transport job.
It still sounds like a transport job. Just using,
the route is different.
Yeah, that sounds like the transport, like the route and
That's
means is
true.
different.
So you want to go into the ghost world,
Mhm.
Luke? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about taking it through via the
Fortune.
take
The
the
lower
lowest?
result, even.
So
All
is
right.
it even occult?
Even I've actually decided based on that roll that I was like, it'd be interesting if we went through the ghost thing, and I will just panic. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Now, my recollection is the last time I went in the ghost world, it didn't turn out too good
No.
either.
Look, going through the ghost world is pretty much inherently a terrifying experience for everyone but Belle.
Look, Karan,
Yeah.
you got out just fine. It's just that I got lost.
That's right.
It's fine.
And I believe I had to hum you back into existence.
Well, you tried to hum me back, and then you failed a desperate roll, and then I had to stop an army of ghosts.
That's right.
That is what happened, yes.
Also, that's where we found Adi's mother, so maybe we'll run into her too.
Yeah.
I'm sure this will all go well. Yeah, so we can go through the.
I want to point out that like going into the ghost field while contained while having a ghost, while like being a ghost bottle is not a thing you've done before.
No,
It'll be fine.
True.
I feel like this is where Belle doesn't tell us that's a risk, and the rest of us is are more concerned because there's like a ton of ghosts, like where between Crowsfoot and Charterhole, like in that waterway, like there's just a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bella's like, look, the ghost factor is about the same between the real
Yeah.
world and the ghost world.
Yeah, at the moment.
And there's less spirit wardens in the ghost version of the city. So, like, on the balance, Ghost Duskfall is the less spooky Duskfall right now.
Yeah, I think that's like against Adi's better judgment. Seems like rational reasoning at this point.
Yeah, Belle puts on that, like, really sincere face that they have
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
and tells you this with, like, the utmost confidence.
Well, Corin's not buying any of it, but if a D's going, then he'll go. So
I think Adi's like it's really important that we actually make it there. And if this is the best way, I'm going to make it to that Centuralia Club by the end of the night.
So the other question that I have is if we're transporting a ghost via the ghost world, can we just walk straight into the Centralia Club, or
I mean, the ghost world has walls and doors and things in it.
So do we get to the edge of the Centralia Club and then go back into the real world, or
Assuming you have a door out nearby, yeah.
Yeah, or I just get my ghost key and I open the door of the ghost door of the Ghost Centralia Club, and we go inside the Ghost Centralia Club,
yeah, that's
and
okay.
then find a way back out on the inside. Like we got a bunch of options.
Yeah.
That might surprise them.
I'm just gonna preemptively tick my ghost key.
I
It
mean,
seems-
don't do that
probably-
straight away. Because, like, yeah, I think it's important to like,
Procedure.
play that procedure out.
Okay. So transport job.
Route.
Routes.
Duskfall.
Ghostfall. Me.
Ghostfall.
Spooky shit.
Yep.
Can we take the ghost version of our vehicle?
I don't think our vehicle has a ghost version because it's about like how old things are,
Yeah.
at least in part.
New vehicle then, because that sucks.
I mean, man, I wish I had. I wish I hadn't bought like. I wish I hadn't bought a new model Jeep. It doesn't even have a ghost. Go back to my Datsun.
That's right. We need a ghost vehicle. Okay.
All right,
I
everyone,
like it.
choose your load, please.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go heavy. Fuck it.
Yeah, me too.
We're in the ghost world. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There's no people to see us and be weirded out.
Well, Tondon will be like, "My, you look very roguish tonight."
Exactly right. Yeah, Belle like waves as we're going down a street.
All right, heavy.
Oh, damn. Awesome. All right, let's engagement roll. Start with one die.
Yep.
Is it bold or daring?
Not specifically.
Dangerous, but not bold or daring.
No.
Is it overly complex or contingent? So a pretty simple plan, really.
Yep. Gonna walk down a street in the ghost world.
Yeah. Go in the ghost world, walk there in a straight line. Does it expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
I don't think so.
I mean, I suppose there's a question here.
I
Of
suppose
like,
it does because you're going through the ghost, like you are
Yeah.
Yeah.
exposing a vulnerability, which is they like the things that are like in your way are not as present in the ghost field.
Yep. All right, so it's +1. Is the target strongest against this approach? Do they have particular defenses or special operations? I don't think so.
No.
Can any of your friends or contacts provide insight or help? I mean, we could bring Holtz to help us navigate.
Yeah, I don't think that Holtz has got any special skills that will help you with this.
I mean, Holtz is a ghost pig. He's a tracking pig.
We've never established that he's a cracking pig.
I mean, he's a pig. He's got a good nose.
Look, if you were transporting mushrooms, I'd give it to you.
Does anyone else have a friend who might be helpful?
Not really.
Well, actually, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Priestess.
Taskel the fucking nerd. He knows things about history, right? Ash, I'm remembering, like,
Yes.
geology and, like, strata and stuff.
Yep.
Could he... I'm really into the idea of, like, he and Belle sit down together and Belle, like, describes various buildings they've seen in Ghost Vol, and Taskel figures out, like, which blocks are from which centuries and assembles.
That's too. He's more interested in like large scale geography and things.
Yep, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Like the
Not
center of his
smart
interest
enough.
is like continental drift post the bad thing.
He's not smart enough to help. Oh well.
Aw. He's just not a nerd about that thing
boy.
specifically.
Yeah.
Should have general research skills. Who's his professor at university? I have a complaint.
I can look that up. Because there is
Yeah, there's the Duskwall University.
the Duskwall University is a thing. But yes.
Yeah, does everyone else have a contact?
I've
Can we bring Mercy into the ghost field?
got an ex-Cuttlefield merchant.
Yeah, I don't know that his skills are particularly applicable either.
No. We'll bring him, and he can be the ghost jar.
Mercy
He doesn't have
won't
the
want
skill.
He'll just be possessed.
He'll just be possessed.
It'll be
No.
This poor guy's going to be a basket case by the time we're through with him.
All right. It sounds like no, we don't have a friend or contact who is providing bigger insight.
No.
Are any enemies or rivals interfering? Probably.
Probably.
Who have I got? I got Flint, the spirit trafficker.
Yeah, Flint sounds like.
Yeah, I think Flint. Is he interfering? You have negative.
because we did like establish that like very few people know about the Ghost Ball.
Yes, but I'm like the ghosts of Bowmore Bridge are absolutely interfering. So.
Yeah. I mean, are they enemies or rivals though?
Oh,
I
right,
think so.
not faction.
Like within the mechanical structure of the game?
Good
Because
question.
they're a faction.
They're a faction.
Did we take a minus with them when we made
You
them?
did.
We invented them,
Yeah.
and then we took a minus with them.
Well, that sounds.
I think then no.
enemy-like.
I don't think anyone
Yeah.
is interfering then.
We did so well last time, Card.
I think
It was
they
amazing.
might just be a thing that comes up during play.
Yep. Cool. All right, so that's 2. Are there any other elements we want to consider? My ghost key is fine.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I think that.
And
makes
like we
sense.
are a tier 1 gang now, so like that means
Yeah,
it's,
I think-
it's a quality 2 key.
Yeah, let's. You can have a dice for that.
Yes. All right. I will roll the engagement roll, and we'll see how terribly this goes. Okay, let's do it.
Ah,
That terribly.
that's
Yes. We're going to be rolling an XP.
good. Right,
What
so
we've been
Adi
waiting
has
for.
been super paranoid. Clearly has vomited out her part of the ghost.
I mean, yeah. I'm just gonna use that as like establishing like how badly things go for the first couple of like fictional prompts, because
Yep.
like I want to open on, and like Madame Sethler like pointing at your like being at your heavy load, and being like, and like gesturing towards the like hat rack.
What, to deload?
Yeah.
Bell size.
And so that's just a whole bunch of like,
Yeah, that great
Weird
montage.
ghost
The Mad
Yeah.
Max montage. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome to go down to normal.
Oh.
Or like you can wait outside the club. right? You just can't enter the club with heavy load.
Mm. I drop down. I will enter the club.
I will not enter the club. I just really want Adi to have the ghost in her.
Adi just really wants to get into a club.
Any club.
Yeah, and like you head into Madame Sethla's, and yeah, there's all of this like lush. So is it just Adi? Is Adi the only one who drops
No,
down?
I'm going in as well.
Cora's going in as well?
I've taken a bunch of things down. So to normal?
To normal to be able to enter the club, yeah.
Yeah.
There's all this like lush, like deep emerald green velvet and like silk, and all of these, and like all of these, all of the furniture is like plush with like wooden edges that that have been like stained kind of silvery. And like same with like the woodwork on the banister for the stairs and all those sorts of things. And as soon as you enter, a lithe young man approaches and like, you know, puts his hand on Corin's chest and like looks at Didi and is like and like, you know, offers his services. And yeah,
An alive young man. I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely,
a live young man.
Live.
And yeah, he offers his services, and Madame Sethra is like says like like turns to him and is like what's his name? I think she's like, Cass, they're here to help Zamira, and he's like, ugh. Like, and that's his like physical like, ugh, ghost things, and he's like, well, I hope you have a good time. And, like trots off into like a kitchen area, and like, you know, where like there are some like young women like having coffee, and he like is like, they're doing ghost stuff. And yeah, and so Madame Zethla, who is a very like, she's an older woman. She's probably in like her like late 60s, but she's taken incredible care of like her skin and all those sorts of things. So she very much looks like a Roman goddess, right? Like her hair is perfectly pinned, and like her skin is like very like smoothly textured, but and like she has like everything is arranged to create the proper form.
Is she played by Gina Torres?
Yes, she's 100% played by Gina Torres. But yeah, she leads you up the stairs, and into a room that is quite like, it's a very sudden shock to go from this like luscious green and silvers and dark woods into like quite a stark white room with like slate tiles on the floor and like a drainage point, and like the bed that there's like a bed that has like a white sheet draped over it. The walls are as white as they can be, with like stains and things. And there's like a metal basin, and yeah, she says, and then like the bed itself has like a metal frame that comes up like a little way, like I think it's not attached to the bed. I think it's like been put around the bed. It comes up like 3 or 4 inches above the body, and that seems to be like electrified. It's connected to the mains. Yeah, and she's like, she's like, I'm glad you're here. We're renting the fence, and it's not the cheapest. We did love Zamira, but time is money.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your care of the spirit. If you would leave the room now, we will get ready to
Get her ready.
transport the body.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, and she's like, yes, of course, I'll leave the room. And like, yeah, she pops out and like, it's very clear that she has a like closing the door as she leaves a room like maneuver that she does so that she keeps eyes on everything in the room until it's very much closed, and it's the most fluid motion you've ever seen.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
And yeah, you're alone in the room with just like the gentle like buzzing, similar to like a an anti-mosquito lamp. Just like
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
All right.
probably a dripping tap.
Right.
Now we're able to sort of consume ghosts, aren't we?
Bottle
That
them up
is a
inside
thing
you.
we can do.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to study the spirit before that happens.
Good. Go for it.
Yeah, sure. How do you?
So I think Eddie
So yeah,
sidles up.
the body is covered by a sheet.
Yeah, right. And then there's the electric bit. Can you get through? Like, can I like pull this sheet?
You can
a
reach
little bit?
over and like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's a moment where Eddie like picks around the buzzing bits and then pulls the sheet to like reveal the face of Zamir.
Yeah, she's a
It's your mother. Bye-bye.
she's
100 years old.
where am I at?
It's like, yeah. So Eddie like sort of pulls on her like gloves, her eel skin gloves, and like brushes the hair out of her face, ties it up in a little ponytail, and then she will.
Yeah. So Zamira is Eruvian, and yeah, and probably in her late 40s, early 50s.
Wait, no, we got told she was 104.
I mean, so yeah, it's that thing
She's
where
well preserved.
it's the thing again where she's like where again she has she's like again like the other woman, she could be any age, like the incredible like like
This is how I want to age.
yeah, right, it's that thing of like in like amongst this community there are definitely like things you do to make yourself look like, you know, to make your skin tighter and all of these sorts of things, right? And she is what's the word I want? Like a preserved woman, like she's never gotten she's never really been able to age beyond like a certain point because of like almost being formaldehyde preserved, right? Like there's so many like chemicals and things in her skin that like yeah, like I think when you like move her skin makes like a crackling noise.
Oh, gross.
Grandma Feld was definitely involved.
Oh yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
a D, you would be familiar with the things that these women use, and they get then like the younger people in this establishment would be using these things now.
Yeah, right.
Right, like you're
My
an
grandma
adult.
looks so old.
Yeah,
She
like-
doesn't do these things.
Yeah, you're an adult. Start
Yeah.
using hand cream. Start using face cream.
Right.
Like start using this start dyeing your hair so that no one will know when you have to start dyeing grays.
Yeah.
Like it's all that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, I think what Adi is actually, she doesn't realize she's doing, but as she's looking over the body, she's actually trying to study for like the cause of death.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
Sure.
So I will roll that study. Is it just risky standard or controlled standard? Or
This study I think is controlled, and I think it's limited because like any physical effects that might have happened to her are going to be reduced by like the preservation stuff she has on her own body, right? Like they 100% use like weird ghost shit to like keep their skin clean.
Yeah, nice. So let me roll that and see.
Time possessed doesn't count towards the aging process.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's the secret.
So yeah. It's a heavy metal poisoning. But she doesn't show any of the signs of like any of the signs of like distress that a body should if it was suddenly poisoned.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't any like discoloration around the throat or lips, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Just seeped slowly into her over many years. And he's like, well, she's dead, all right.
And like, if you've got your hands in there, right? Like, then like you can feel like you can feel her spirit being like, oh, I'm gonna do this, right? Like, and like you say, she's dead, all right, and it's like, ah,
and you see like Adi just like jump way back, and it's like, can we settle this spirit down a little bit? Because I don't know how I'm going to handle a spirit like this if we're in the ghost world. Can we just put it in a sack, a spirit sack?
You're muted, Derek.
So the spirit seems fairly
fresh and alive.
Fresh and alive and aggressive. So I'd like to.
It's like she's definitely like restless, and then when you were like, she's definitely dead, she got like, oh, what? You know, like upset.
So I'm going to pull out my whip, and I'm going to start to charge it, which I could do.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea here is to not really hurt her, but more to corral her and bring her from this size down to this size, to sort of constrain her a little bit. So I'm gonna start to charge the whip, and the purplish energy starts to crackle along it, and I sort of loop it around her and then loop it around her again, and start to just you know, almost gently, almost sort of comfortingly. You know how you get that feeling when somebody squeezes you really tight, and you know it's that deep massaging pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wanting to do that with her soul.
All right, what do you think that is?
I have no idea.
I can think of a couple of options, but
sounds kind of like a tune to me.
Or finesse.
Or finesse.
Or sway.
None of these suggestions are things that I'm any good at.
Well, then maybe you should stop trying to do things you're not good at.
Then maybe we've got a devil's bargain for you, Derek.
Yeah, maybe we're going to have to do that.
You fall in love with her. No.
No, I have a better one.
I don't know. She left a pretty corpse, so...
Derek.
That's a pretty corpse is the name of my high school goth band.
Yeah, okay. I have a devil's bargain.
I'm keen to hear it.
If you want one, Derek, which is like, so this maneuver that you're describing sounds like the kind of maneuver where it is possible that at some point you will accidentally touch her skin.
Her real skin or her spirit skin?
Either, both.
Okay.
I don't know that there's a lot of difference at this point. And I think we like start a clock that has something to do with like being spirit touched in some kind of spooky
Mm,
way.
I'm not feeling it.
I've got an alternate devil's bargain. Maybe she really enjoys this and she's like super latched onto you. So like
Oh,
when you carry, like she wants you to carry her ghost and she doesn't want you to let go.
I mean
The
that's
problem is on the other end.
that sounds like it rests upon the assumption that this is successful.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
Let me describe the Ghost Fighter special ability. It says you may imbue your hands, melee weapons, or tools with spirit energy. You gain potency in combat versus the supernatural. You may grapple with spirits to restrain and capture them.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like Sway.
It doesn't sound like
doesn't sound like Sway.
it sounds like skirmish.
Yeah. If you're trying to calm her down, I think that skirmish is not the right thing to me.
Yeah, skirmish is the version where you put her in a ghost headlock.
Yeah,
and you
right. If you're
carry
trying
her
to
out.
just like force her, that sounds like skirmish.
Yeah,
If you're
whereas
trying
you
to
want to calm her,
cuddle
like,
her,
like a tune, probably.
yeah, I
tune-
can see I can see a
tune
tune or
is right.
finesse or
All right, I might take V's bargain.
that she
Exactly.
doesn't want to be handled by anyone but you.
Yeah.
And you hear this, and like instantly, you get this feeling that you've felt in Adi's grandma's shop so many times.
Yeah, like ironically, this is the one where it is actually just they fall in love with you,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like she's just like, yes, this one is my favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, she doesn't like to be clear, the devil's bargain is I don't want no one but Corin.
So I'm going to have to carry her through the whole Dusk of All Girls ghost world. So okay.
Mhm.
All right. Let's do it.
Cool.
Risky standard.
Let's roll after the break. Back in a minute, chat.